I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the trailhead for Little Devil Stairs Trail. That's the way I'm going to be headed. Here's the road you come in on, Kaiser Run Road. It's Saturday morning, so even though this is a fairly large lot, it's full. Looks like I took the last spot. There it is, a gray ghost. The one and only. So I'm going to close that up, and we're going to head up, start climbing the mountain here on the Little Devil Stairs, looking for some old homesteads and a cemetery, if we get lucky. The elevation here is 1,240 feet. Just crossed over Kaiser Run, and as soon as you get on the other side, you'll see all these rock piles here. I'll have to look up whose property this was. There's one there, one over there. There's one straight ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, oh, and more back in there. Lots and lots of rock piles here. So, I have to look up who lived here. Three-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 1,310 feet. There's another part of Kaiser Run. I think that's the main branch coming down from the mountain. And here's the trail coming up. That's where I came from. A parking lot's back there a ways. And I'm climbing the mountain this way. I'm climbing to a jumping off waypoint that I settled on. That I'm gonna turn right, and I'm gonna have to cross this somehow to get over to the Golden Jenkins tract of land over this way. So first we got to get up here to my jumping off point. Six-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm up to 1,440 feet. And this is my jumping off point. Now, over here to the left somewhere, down in there, is where I think the old Clatterbuck homestead was. I'll show that on the map talk. If I have time, I may go down in there. But right now, I want to cross over Kaiser Run that way, and maybe a tenth of a mile or so should put me in the vicinity of Golden Jenkins Homestead site. But I got to scout around a little. I got to figure out, it's pretty steep over the side there, and looking at my map, it looks like the trail may cross over here, so I'm going to scout up this way. If this trail just crosses the Kaiser Run anyway, I'll cross over there, because there may be some rocks and things to help me get across, and then I'll just loop back. I think that's, so let me go up here and scout first. Okay, well, I'm up on the little plateau here on the other side where the Golden Jenkins Homestead supposedly was. Check out the slope on this embankment here. I managed to cross over Kaiser Run. The trail's over there. There's Kaiser Run. I managed to get across without too much drama. I just hope I can find a way back without falling in. It's running a little fast today for this, but here we are. So anyway, I've got some coordinates I want to go look at for the homestead and also the cemetery. I made a guesstimate where the cemetery would be based on an old survey. So let's see if I can find anything over here. Just a short distance in here, and got these rocks stacked up like that. That's kind of interesting. Rocks don't stack themselves up like that. So somebody did, and there's some more right there stacked up. Maybe they put that up as like a marker and they come across the creek. So maybe I'm on the right trail here. Well, I found the wall 9/10 of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 1,380 feet. It was within about 40 or 50 feet of what I saw on the LiDAR. So those are accurate coordinates coming off the LiDAR. Now, that wall goes way on up there. If the LiDAR is correct, I'm going to head up that way because the cemetery's up that way, I think. And down here is a drainage area. So I don't know, that may have been a driveway. Could have been a driveway coming up here because the wall starts down there, comes up to here, and where this tree is, that's a gap in the wall. See that? That's like, you know, your entrance. And then the wall continues on up there. And then I'm going to go back in here because back behind there, that's a ginormous pile of rock right there. And I think I see some more rock piles up there. So I'll get some shots of them too. And so yeah, this had to be where it was. And then this area in through here is all cleared out except for these trees that, you know, have grown up in the last 100 years. It's hard to get back in here though. That's the way I came. You got to go over. You got to go down in that gully and then up on that plateau across there and then down the really steep slope to Kaiser Run and then cross that over there. So let me look around, get some stills. All right, well that's a real nice pile of rocks right there. And then behind me here is the, I walked through the entrance to the estate. There's the wall, which I'm eventually going to follow up there. But there's one pile right there. And then up here, might be another pile. Let's go up here. Okay, well that first rock pile's down there. I'm climbing up here on higher ground. And yeah, here's another rock pile. Nice big rock pile there. And there's another big one right there. There's another big one right there. Another one up there. Here's part of one right here. And then over there, that kind of hump in the ground, that's the wall. Over the last 100 years, you know, it's been covered up with trees and leaves and whatnot. But I'm going to follow, looks like a little pathway going up there. And the cemetery should be up there if I can find it. So that's where I'm headed next. Continuing to climb up this ridge here, there's another rock pile. There's one there. I'm headed to this one. Behind that looks like another big one. And might be some over this way. I got to eventually angle over this way, I think, to get to where I think the cemetery is. So okay, I dropped back down just a little ways. Down from, there's the rock piles up there, there's another one. Because this looks like a road. And it's kind of heading in the right direction. Over there is looking like a feeder stream. And then here's the low side of the road. It's all armored up with rocks and stuff. See that? So what I thought was a wall might have, well, a wall, but it looks like it served as the low side of the road. So that looks like the road coming up here. And the homestead might have been up in there. I'll have to read the property sheet again. I don't remember if there was apple orchards here or what, but anyway. And then the roads, I'm going to follow this road on up this way a ways until I get close to the cemetery. One mile into my hike, it's been kind of rough going. Up to 1,405 feet. And I think this is the end of the road here. Actually, I was whacking my way up, bushwhacking my way up here on a little bit higher ground from that direction. But it looks also like maybe there was a road came up from down there. I might follow that back down to Kaiser Run, see where I end up. Anyway, the reason I think it's the end of the road is it looks like a turnaround here, and see that wall? So they armored it up. That's the wall. This is the turnaround zone. And if I was going to put in a cemetery, you know what? I'd put it right up there on that ridge. And that's where it was, looked like it was supposed to be. So let's go up and look around. .1 miles into my hike, I'm up to 1,450 feet. And I'm within about 30 feet of where I thought the cemetery might be, and it looks like there was a home up here. With the chimney still standing there. I'll get some stills of that. And look what's coming up there. Daffodils. Now, it's possible, I think the old survey showed that a cemetery might be up on that ridge over there. So I'm gonna go over there when I get done here. Let me see if that's to the south. Hold on a second. Yeah, south of here. I'm gonna go up there on that rise over there and see what I can find. But I was expecting to maybe find a cemetery here, and instead, look what I found. Maybe this was the main house, because this is up on higher ground. This is up on higher ground. So I'll mark this location and compare it to that old survey that I was looking at and see what I got. Okay, well now I'm up on the top of this next rise over here, a little further south, and the chimney and stuff is way down there on lower ground. I'm up here at the very top, and I see a lot of rock piles, but I don't see any cemetery. Now, maybe it's not totally up on the very top here. I don't know. I'm gonna wander around just a little bit. And it also could be that it's up here, but it was just no large, monuments, and just fieldstone markers, and they've been maybe covered up with all these trees and stuff. Let me wander around just a little bit, but I don't see anything. 2 miles into my hike, I'm down to 1,200 feet, and I'm almost back to my car, and I'm at this first flat area. As soon as you cross over Kaiser Run, you'll see a flat area off to your left with there's lots and lots of rock piles back in here. I think this was the Thomas Dyer homestead. I'll check when I get home, but there's lots and lots of rock piles back up in here you can check out, like that one there. I'm a couple of 100 feet back in here now. I see more of them back there, at least two more. At least two more back there. 1, 2, 3 there. There's one right there. That's just a big old rock. Some more piled up there. And then there's a whole, between the trails back here, whole bunch between me and the trail. So you'll see it on my GPS track. I think my GPS track is probably going to look a little wonky because I lost some storm clouds, came over, and I lost satellite reception for a while, but it's back now. So Garmin Base Camp is probably just going to draw a straight line from where I lost GPS to where it came back. But that's not actually what I did, but there's nothing I can do about that. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Thornton Gap, 1994, and the purpose of the hike was to explore the Golden Jenkins Tract, number 67. There was 2 different houses on that tract of land, plus a cemetery referred to in the literature as a Jenkins Kaiser cemetery. You come in on Kaiser Run Road, which is this road right here. Follow it till it dead ends. And the trailhead is right here. Now this is the for Little Devil Stairs, which is this trail heading up this way. So you cross over some of the little feeder creeks, and the first thing you'll notice off to the left here is a lot of rock piles. This is the T.B. Dyer tract of land, and this is fairly flat here, and there's lots of rock piles there. You come up here and it takes a hard left. You're running right along the edge of the park here. I came up to this point right here, which is my jumping off point. Off to the left, I didn't go down here because I ran out of time, but off to the left, this is a clatterbuck homestead area here. Have to go back and explore that another day. Instead, I went to the right and crossed over Kaiser Run and then continued on. When I got to this point right here, which is an area I saw on the LiDAR, this point right here corresponds to the homestead location on the older map. I'll show you that in a second. So I'm calling that the Jenkins Homestead right there. That's a big rock pile and a wall which continues on up the side of the mountain, up here to this saddle area. I followed this on up to here. Now, when I got to here, I thought this was going to be the cemetery, but it turned out this was the second homestead location right here. Now, down here, there's nothing but a big rock pile. Up here, there's actually a chimney still standing. So I got pictures of that. I also think there's a building up here to the north, but I didn't go up there either. I stayed here. This is really overgrown over here to the east. So then I started looking for, well, I thought this was the cemetery, but based on the older maps, they showed the cemetery as being to the south, about there. So I hiked up to the summit here, looking for the cemetery. I didn't find it, but looking at my GPS track when I got home, I was a little bit maybe too far to the west. So it's possible that I walked right past the cemetery, didn't even see it. Anyway, got up here to the summit, looked around, didn't see anything. So then I started heading back down towards Kaiser Run. And when I got down in this area, I decided I didn't want to go back across the same way. So I came down this way and found an easier place to cross here. And then back to my car. Now, I'll show you some of the older maps here. This map is Stony Man 1929, and this right here is the trail coming up, and this is the driveway heading up to the homestead location right there. Right there's where I found that rock pile. So that corresponds to the homestead location where this driveway just comes up and ends. Then this location right here is where I found that chimney up on higher ground. And this location right here corresponds to where I think the cemetery probably is that I did not find. Now, the way I got the location for the cemetery was from this map. This is a map of this tract of land, and it shows the cemetery right there. And then this is the outline of the property right here. So if you take this and superimpose it on this, which is the online Shenandoah records, you'll end up putting the cemetery right about there. Here's where I found the chimney. The cemetery would be right here in this area, right here. And this is the summit that I hiked up to. So in other words, I hiked up like this. But I still missed the cemetery. Once you get, see that the cemetery is in this area, then you can get coordinates for it. Here's the coordinates I came up with. This was a short hike, but it took me a long time. It was 2.1 miles, and it took me over 2.5 hours with an ascent of 374 feet. And that was the hike for today.